What is going on, everybody? Sports Expert here, and we are here with our Week 12 NFL picks. And before we start the video, please hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Turn on the post notification bell. Like the video. Comment what you think. Would really appreciate that so much, as you know, we try to approach the 5K subscriber mark. So yeah, let's get right into it. As Thursday Night Football, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. The Steelers are coming off a home win against the Baltimore Ravens. The Browns are coming off a road loss against the Saints. I think the Steelers will win this game. The Cleveland Browns are struggling right now. Their defense just seems kind of worn out at this point, and the Steelers have a new life to them. They're 8-2. Mike Tomlin could finally win his first Coach of the Year this season. They look solid under Russell Wilson. It's just one of those things. I can't pick the Browns. Maybe the Browns upset the Steelers at home. The Browns are 6-0 in their last 6 Thursday games, so that's something to keep in mind. But I think I'm going to pick the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one. I just think they'll be more motivated here. We have the Minnesota Vikings at the Chicago Bears. The Vikings are 8-2, coming off a win against the Titans, and the Bears are 4-6, coming off a tough loss against the Green Bay Packers in the end of that game. I'm going to take the Bears in this one. I think they'll get the upset at home. The Vikings, they're a good team, but they're due to lose a game. I think this is one of those divisional games where their divisional opponent in the Bears plays tough, and I think it's one of those games where Caleb Williams finds himself. I think Thomas Brown will call a really good game. I think he looked very good with his play calling on Sunday, and I think that momentum will continue for the Chicago Bears offense in this game here. The Vikings, they've had a lot. They're a solid team, but I don't know if they're a great team right now. I think the Bears are going to find a way to expose them in some levels, and they'll end up winning this game. We have the Detroit Lions of the Indianapolis Colts. The Lions are 9-1, coming off a win against the Jaguars, and the Colts are coming off a win at the Jets. This one's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to pick the Detroit Lions to win this one. Pretty tough to pick against them until they lose. They're the hottest team right now. They can score for days. I just don't think the Colts will have the coaching to do that. And I think Shane Steichen's a really good coach. I just think their coordinators just are kind of meh. So I think the Lions, they find a way here, of course. I think it'll be closer than people think. They'll win by a score. But, you know, I think Anthony Richardson will make some plays on his legs, and I think that'll frustrate the Lions a bit. Without Alex Anzalone, who's out 6 to 8 weeks, that's going to be a big loss for them. So I think the Lions might have their work cut out here, but I think they'll do enough on offense to outscore Indianapolis when it's all said and done. We have the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. The Patriots are coming off a 28-22 home loss against the Rams, and the Dolphins are coming off a 34-19 home win against the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins to win this game. I think the Patriots, although they look solid, they look like they have a spark in them. I think they're still a very young team, and this is a Dolphins team who's trying to make the playoffs. They're trying to make a run under Tua, and with Tua, they'd be one of the best teams in the league. I just think they'll get Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle too much involved to the point where the Patriots are a bit overwhelmed. I think Drake May will make some plays in this game, but that Dolphins pass rush will get to him. And Patriots offensive line actually is playing better than the talent says, but I think this is one of those games where the Dolphins look at the film and they make some adjustments on what they need to do against this young offensive line. So give me the Dolphins. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New York Giants. The Buccaneers are coming off a bye week, while the New York Giants are also coming off a bye week. Daniel Jones has been benched for Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito, who's become a fan favorite in New York, he'll be the starting quarterback over Drew Lock. And Daniel Jones will now be the quarterback 3. The Buccaneers, they had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, but you think maybe there's some rust here. Maybe 2 weeks is a bit too much to prepare for a team like the Giants. Maybe they got a bit lazy because they know who they're playing. But in all that regard, they'll have some film on Tommy DeVito from last season, but he hasn't played this season, so they don't have any film from him from 2024. Maybe there's some adjustments made there between him and Brian Dable, and I think that's going to be a big reason why I'm going to pick the Giants to cause a huge upset here. I think the Giants, their run game will get going. I really like Tyrone Tracy. They don't have Andrew Thomas for that offensive line, so that's going to hurt. But I think the Giants here, I think they're going to play very motivated. They've struggled at home, but that's because of Daniel Jones. He's just been really bad at home throughout his career. Tommy DeVito's been a much better option, crazy enough, at MetLife than Daniel Jones. If the Giants can play with a bit of passion here, now that Tommy DeVito's back in, Tommy Cutlets, by the way, I think there's going to be a chance they win this game. I think there's going to be a bit of an upset. This was similar to my Saints-Falcons upset pick, which I got right a couple weeks ago, and I feel very confident about the Giants here at this time. They win a close one. We have the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commanders. The Cowboys are coming off a blowout loss at home against the Texans, and the Commanders are coming off a loss at the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. The Commanders will bounce back here. They'll go to 8-4. The Cowboys don't have enough offense to compete with the Commanders. The Commanders' defense has been much more improved. The Cowboys' defense is still Swiss cheese. Even with Micah Parsons, that's not going to be enough. The injuries of the defensive backs for the Cowboys is too much. The Commanders should roll in this one. They'll have no answer for Jalen Daniels' arms and legs. And Terry McLaurin should have a bounce-back game after having no catches versus the Eagles. He'll be hungry. We have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Carolina Panthers. The Chiefs are coming off their first loss of the season at the Buffalo Bills, while the Carolina Panthers are coming off a bye week. So the Panthers had a couple weeks to prepare for this game. This could be huge for them. And I think it would have been a very solid pick, the Panthers, if the Chiefs would have beaten the Bills. You know, they'd be 10-0, trap game all the way, but the Chiefs lose to the Bills. They're pissed. They're going to come in hungry. I pray for the Panthers. I think the Chiefs are going to win this one. The Panthers, they have a chance to win this one, but it's not a high chance. Give me the Chiefs. I think Andy Reid is going to be pretty determined to get back on the win column like usual. We have the Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. The Titans are coming off a home loss against the Vikings, and the Texans are coming off a road win against the Cowboys. You could consider that a home win. So many Texans fans had that game last night. But the Titans, they suck. They're terrible. I have no faith in them. I can't pick them. I'm taking the Texans. I think C.J. Stroud, although he hasn't been great this year, I think he'll make enough plays in this game to where the Titans just really can't do much about it. Their defense is okay, but that offense is miserable. They don't have a quarterback. They're drafting a quarterback in the top 5 this year. The quarterback class is weak, but there's no way the Titans aren't drafting a quarterback. If they draft someone else, I'd be pretty surprised. But Brian Callahan's going to want his own guy. A lot of teams are going to pass on quarterbacks this year in the draft. I don't think the Titans will be one of those teams. Give me the Texans 24-14. The Titans are in turmoil right now. We have the Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Broncos are coming off a blowout win at home against the Falcons. And we have the Raiders coming off a loss at the Miami Dolphins. Raiders are at home, but I have no faith in them right now. You know, the Broncos defense, they've had their moments this season, and I think they're going to continue to have their moments. It's just where the Raiders quarterback situation is in flux every week. Every week, this guy's the starter, this guy. There's no continuity for the Raiders and their offensive game plan. It's just a mess. And I think the Broncos, although I think the Raiders will play a competitive game on the defensive side of the ball, I just feel like it's just going to be one of those games where the Broncos just kind of overwhelm the Raiders in the end, and the Raiders don't have much of a comeback attempt. Give me the Broncos. They probably win by more than this, but, you know. We have the San Francisco 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. The 49ers are coming off a home loss against the Seattle Seahawks, and the Packers are coming off a road win against the Chicago Bears. Give me the Packers at home. They get a win in Lambeau. They're not playing great in Lambeau, which is weird for the Packers, but I think they'll find a way here around that crowd. I think that atmosphere will be huge for Green Bay. The 49ers, I'm going to say it, they suck. The 49ers suck. They're not good. And the Packers are a decent team. They're not a great team right now, but they are a team that could make men's in the NFC. The 49ers, I don't even think they're a playoff contender right now. They could make the playoffs, but they're terrible right now. That offensive line is just not consistent. Brock Purdy makes poor decisions. The coaching is poor right now. I don't like what I've seen from Kyle Shanahan this year. His play calling has been up and down. The 49ers, their defense is trying to do a lot of the heavy lifting. It's just tough when your offense just stalls because of poor play calling and all that. And, you know, I just think Matt LaFleur is the much better coach in this game. I'm going to say it. And I think that's the reason why Packers win. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game, but I think the Packers rally to win this one. I just don't know. I can't trust the 49ers right now. They look like a bad team right now. We have the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. The Cardinals are coming off a bye, while the Seattle Seahawks are coming off that road win against the 49ers. Great comeback by Geno Smith at the end there. Gave the 49ers no chance to kick a field goal, only 12 seconds. Great job there. I'm going to take the Cardinals to win this one coming off the bye. They had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. And note, the Seahawks are horrible at home. They're a very solid road team, very solid, but for some reason they're absolutely horrible at home. You know, people are like, the fan, they can't lose because of the fan. Now they're losing because of the fan. So, yeah, the Seahawks, they're a terrible home team. I mean, it's crazy that they're terrible. They used to be the kings at home. That used to be arguably the toughest place to play in the NFL. Now it's like bottom 3 for the easiest with like MetLife and Carolina, maybe? I mean, those are arguably the 3 easiest places to play. Dallas, Carolina, Seattle, 4th places. Seattle and New York for the Giants. It's just gotten to the point where the Cardinals, I think Kyler Murray's having a terrific season. I think James Conner, don't underestimate him. He's the best tackle-breaking running back in the NFL. The Seahawks are going to have their handful in this game. And with a team that had 2 weeks to prepare, and when they're still kind of flying high from that 49ers win, I think there's going to be some trouble in this one for the Seahawks. So give me the Cardinals 26-23 in a close one. I think they edge them out. We have Sunday Night Football. We have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Los Angeles Rams. The Eagles are coming off a Thursday Night Football win against the Commanders, and the Rams are coming off a road win against the Patriots. I will say Nick Sirianni's actually been a pretty decent coach this year, but I still think Sean McVay is the better head coach, and I'm going to trust him at home. I think Eagles fans will travel well, but I think the Rams being at home, that SoFi Stadium atmosphere that they're used to, I think there's going to be points for them to be scored. I think this could be arguably even more high scoring, but at the same time, I think it could maybe be a defensive slugfest for a quarter, which hinders the scoring. So give me the Rams in this one, 24-21. I'm going to take a close one. I think the coaching is going to be big in this one, and I'm going to give the edge to Sean McVay, even though I've actually been impressed with Nick Sirianni more than not at times this year. But I'll take the Rams. I think that combo of Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp overwhelms that Eagles secondary, which is kind of okay at best. And I think if the Eagles can get some pressure on Jalen Hurts, they'll be able to withstand a comeback from them, and that'll be it. Give me the Rams. And they have a really nice young defensive line. Jared Verse, Byron Young, Braden Fisk, Kobe Turner, all studs. Give me the Rams. And in Monday Night Football, we have the Ravens and the Chargers. The Chargers are coming off that big win at home on Sunday Night Football against the Bengals, and the Ravens are coming off a tough loss at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dome game, Ravens are going to score for days. The Chargers, they're going to score for days. The Ravens defense has struggled this year mightily. They didn't give up a touchdown versus the Steelers, but that secondary is still pretty poor, and now that they're playing in a dome, it's not going to get easier. Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson looking much better. You got Will Dissly, who's very underrated. And that run game, if they can get that run game going, they're going to have no problem getting the pass game going, the Chargers. And it's tough to get the run game going against the Ravens, but if someone has a plan, it's Jim Harbaugh against his brother, John. So that's what I think could happen for the Chargers. I think the Chargers can win because of that. They'll score points, but I think in the end, I think Lamar Jackson's feet are going to be the key in this game, the key to success for the Ravens. And Justin Tucker's bounce back game after his poor performance against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me the Ravens 34-30. They'll win in a shootout. Derrick Henry will have a score, and Lamar Jackson will do it with his feet. So that'll be it for me, guys. Sports expert here. Those are my Week 12 NFL picks. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Turn on the post notification bell. Like the video. Comment what you think. I'm out, guys. Sports expert here. Peace.